What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It is a rainy, cold Wednesday here in Findlay, Ohio, and I'm hanging out in the beer shed. I made it across the lake that is my yard, and I'm getting ready to record a WTF Wednesday beer review. For those of you who may be new to the channel, WTF Wednesday is the one day a week when I showcase a beer I normally wouldn't on the program. Sometimes that means I do stuff from the big boys, Bud Miller and Coors. Sometimes I try strange offerings from microbreweries, and I've been trying to do some international beers as well. So this beer falls into, I guess, the second category. This is a limited release, kind of strange beer, not really because of the beer style, but because of the beer can. So this is Goblet of Fire, and this looks like it's a collaboration between Decadent Ales and the band Death. So Death is a heavy metal band, and there's some pretty cool can art on there. It looks like this says it is limited edition can release number 15. There's also a logo on here for something that says Knuckle Bones, KNUCKLEBONZ.com. And I went to that site, and it looks like they sell high-end figurines of performers, of musical folks. So I went to that link, and they had some AC/DC ones. They're really hyper-realistic, cool-looking statues, but super expensive, over $100, $150, $200. They're expensive kind of items, but if you're into that, some really cool stuff there. So you also have drink from the Goblet of Gore. And again, artwork is pretty sweet. I'm always a sucker for any kind of band collabs, and Anderson picked this up for me. So as you know, Anderson the Ginger Yeti, throw his logo up here. His link is always down in my description. Goes on tour with a lot of heavy metal bands. So he's been on the tour with Amon Amarth, Whitechapel, Black Dahlia, all these different bands over the years. And when he's traveling, he picks some stuff up. So it looks like he found this at a place called McScrooge's in Knoxville, Tennessee. The only reason I know that is because I checked his Untappd check-in, and it says that's where he got it. And there's only 172 check-ins to this anywhere, so it seems to be fairly limited. Oh. Now, I did see the can selling. The empty can was selling somewhere for $22. My God, look at that. This has been in my fridge for weeks. So any of this here, this is from the can. Well, that's interesting. What's going on with my Ben Franklin glass here today? It says, beer is living proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. Now, he doesn't want me to be happy with this pour. This confuses the game a bit. I will probably edit here, do a fast forward montage until I get rid of some of this head. So I'll edit it and cut back in here once the 5 fingers of death moves. All right, I'm back, and this is a more manageable looking beer here. The head on this is kind of interesting. I mean, when I initially poured it, it was 80% of the glass. Now that I got down to a manageable bit, I got about 2 fingers. But this straight is soapy. It looks like the dishwashing machine here. Tons of bubbles. It kind of looks like there should be a ton of lacing, but maybe there's not. But it looks like, you can see it like a honeycomb look almost with all the bubbles. As for the color, this is like a hazy, light yellow. From breaking out my Brew HQ chart, again, I'll hold it up to the light. I'll probably go maybe like a 3 straw. Hazy though, can't see through it. Fair bit of visible carbonation. Trying to see if they're floaters. No, they just look like they're bubbles. That's actually very carbonated, man. Like that champagne-looking bubbles. That's crazy. I don't even think you can see it really properly on there, but that's a heck of a lot of bubbles. Maybe that's why it was so much head. I don't know if it's over-carbonated or what, but about a 3 on the chart there. Let's give it a sniff. This is supposed to be a lager, I think it said. Limited edition beverage series. Death Goblet of Gore Lager, 5.8% ABV, nothing on the IBUs. Now, it does pretty well in the ratings. Untappd, 3.85, but again, only 172 check-ins. Beer Advocate was an NA. There was only 1 check-in there, so nothing. Like I said, if there's only 172 on Untappd, you're not going to get anything on Beer Advocate. Now, one thing I'll say is for a lager, this smells a little hoppier than I would expect. This smells like a pale ale to me. Like if you were to say maybe like old school Sierra Nevada or something like that, that's kind of what the scent is giving off to me. Kind of nice little hoppy presence. Yeah, not what I think of when I saw a lager on the can. I thought it was going to be like some, Heineken Coors kind of trashy kind of lager thing, but it smells hoppier than that, so I guess that's positive. Let's give it a shot. Cheers. Body on this, pretty light. I would say it's probably just barely over the threshold to medium, but on the very low end of medium. As to the flavors, there's not a heck of a lot going on. You definitely get some hoppiness throughout. If I had to say, it's a slight bitter, slight resinous kind of, I would say more of a piney hop kind of taste. And that's kind of it. You might get a tiny bit of a malt backbone, a tiny bit of sweetness to counterbalance the hops, but it's not super complicated. It just tastes like the average pale ale to me. Before we went on the IPA bender for about 5 years, we used to have pale ales as well, and that's kind of what this tastes like. It's decent. Do I think it's spectacular? No. A 3.85 rating is probably a bit high, and I imagine some of that rating is probably because there's fans of the band, which, hey, I get it. I think my high school had a beer. I gave it a 5 out of loyalty, right? You have to. What would I say? I would probably say it's maybe 3.2, something like that, if I was using the Untappd score. Not bad, but I don't think it's almost a 4. But that being said, solid lager. When you throw the tie-in into the band, it makes it worth it. And again, what I'm suspecting on these is people buy it for the can more than what the beer is actually going to taste like. Now these appear, these appear to be sold out already. So thrilled to be able to get this. Thanks again to the Yeti. I'm always lucky when he picks stuff up on tour and brings it back, because most of the stuff I never would have found in the U.S. And I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but this is by Decadent Ales out of Mamaroneck. Hopefully I spelled that right, New York. I think I had one other beer. Good Lord, this thing is making me burp like nuts. Told you this was super carbonated when I poured it, and all those bubbles in there, I can feel it. Rarely do I burp from beer. Soda will get me real bad, but beer, hardly ever. This thing's got me burping after half of a glass. That being said, not a bad beer. I would give it a thumbs up. I'm always thrilled to be able to try stuff against like music collab beers. So thanks to Yeti for bringing it to me. And as far as Decadent Ales, you guys did a pretty good job with this one. You could have phoned it in and just poured, Natty Light in the can, and people would have bought it for the can art. But you did at least put forth a decent beer. So I appreciate it. Would like to try some more of these limited edition can ones. If they're all music ones, I have to see who else is out there. This is number 15. So there could be tons of other cool band beers out there from these folks. But hey, we'll see what else is out there. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. As always, got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Have you tried Death Goblet of Gore? Have you tried any of the other beers in this limited edition series? It appears there's at least 14 more before this one. I'd love to see what else is out there. The artwork on this I absolutely love. Kind of reminds me of the old Tales from the Crypt kind of stuff, which I'm a big fan of. So this will be going up in the rafters here as a keeper. Thanks again to the Yeti. And if you want to see more videos, like I said, hit that like button and hit subscribe. I'm inching my way towards 1,000. We're almost there with your support. So thanks for your help so far. And until next time, cheers.